The most powerful thing that we can do is to be weak before our God. A lot of the reading plan for this week is actually taking a look at the God's power in our weakness. And we saw with the Israelites as they took over Jericho that God gave them what would be considered a weak strategy. See, he told them to walk around the city once a day for 6 days and then 7 times on Sunday, and then shout at the wall. That's a pretty crazy strategy if you really think about it. Don't let the end of the story kind of shade what the actual strategy was. See, it was pretty weak, but it worked, didn't it? Why? Because God's power shows up in our weakness. And yesterday's reading, we saw how God gives us what we need to be strong and powerful in battle. But today is about what we bring to the table. And see, it is completely the opposite of what our culture tells us to bring to the table to be a successful person and to be a person that wins in this life. See, what Jesus tells us is the blessed are those who are poor in spirit. Blessed are those who realize that in themselves they really have nothing to bring to the table except for their sin. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are those who mourn over the fact that all they have to bring to the table is their sin. Blessed are the meek. See, meek isn't necessarily weakness. Being meek means that we have controlled strength or a gentle strength. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. That the cry of our heart alone is for the righteousness of Jesus. Blessed are those who are merciful, or in other words, blessed are those who have compassion with action. Blessed are those who are pure in heart. Purity is the same idea of innocence or being unstained. God alone purifies our heart, but as we hear and follow Jesus, we live out that purity that God gives us. Blessed are those who live innocent, unstained lives. Blessed are the peacemakers. See, these are people who do not seek out war. And I'm not talking about national wars. I'm talking about the personal wars that we try to fight. Blessed are those who do not seek out war with others. And blessed are the persecuted. See, in our culture, we don't deal with persecution like other cultures and other Christians over the course of history. But blessed are those who are willing to go through persecution, and blessed are those who pray for their persecutors and pray for their enemies. We can certainly do that. See, this is the exact opposite of what our culture tells us. See, our culture tells us to be all put together, to be strong, to be powerful, to hunger and thirst for unrighteousness. Our culture says you got to judge to get ahead, to be unrestrained. Our culture says to be war makers and to be persecutors. That's what it looks like to get ahead and be successful in life. But God tells us that we'll inherit his kingdom, we'll inherit the earth, we'll be his sons. God gives us blessings beyond anything this world could ever give us if we have the discipleship characteristics that Jesus outlines here. How about your life? How about my life? Do we live according to the discipleship characteristics that Jesus outlines, or the characteristics that our culture says are the characteristics of winners? What would it look like for us to live lives that are weak before God? Well, actually, what would it look like to live lives that were weak before our powerful God?